Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the weekly Old School Q&A. It's a spooky one this week. It's Halloween. We have a party going on in the office. I got a little scared of the snake there. This is a real snake. On the sofa this week, we have. Oh, he's all right. He's all right. He's okay. We've got Mod Ed.
Hello.
Mod John C.
Hey.
We have Mod Ash.
Hello.
And Mod Matt K. I'm your host, Mod Wolf. This is Reggie the snake. He's pretty cute. Mod Hiss.
Money snake.
He's pretty cute. Look at that. He's just looking about. Zulra.
Hello.
There you go. We have a party going on in the office right now as well, so we've got a couple of cookies and stuff to decorate if you get bored.
Oh, he's eyeing me up now.
He's looking at you, mate.
I don't like it.
Oh, we don't like it. I think he's cute. Look how cute he is. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. He's beautiful.
Stick your tongue
He
out.
doesn't mean any problem. You may or may not have heard that this week we released a pretty big update. You may have heard. Old School Mobile.
Oh, that was it.
Finally released on the Apple Store and Google Play Store. Thank you all so much. We have over 1,500 ratings now on the App Store. In particular, 4.9 average rating. So thank you all so much for that. If you haven't already rated, please do. If you haven't, we really appreciate it. It really helps. Obviously, we've been featured on the App Store quite a bit. We're number one in a lot of regions. So thank you all so much. Yeah, quite a few.
Big regions.
Yeah. Sadly, however, there is no update tomorrow.
You've had a fairly big one this week. I hope you're all right.
But there will be one next week, and it will be the Nexus, which you guys have been waiting for. Mod Barnes, do you want to maybe take a snake? He's getting a little slivery now. He's going behind the couch, I think. Thank you,
right.
Thank you very much, Mod Barnes. There you go, mate.
There we go.
There you go. Thanks a lot, mate. There we go. See you, mate. Bye, Reggie. Laters. Right.
Back to the swamp.
Yeah, back to this. Yeah, 4.9 average. Honestly, all thanks to you guys. Anything to say in particular, John?
Thanks. One for waiting.
Winter 2017, by the way.
Yep, and two for playing. And yeah, if you're a part of the beta process, thank you very much. You've helped make the game what it is at launch. It's going very well, and we couldn't have done that without you guys. So yeah, enjoy. It's actually happening. So.
We've had some pretty impressive numbers as well. 110k players online simultaneously. That's the highest we ever had by over 20k. That's huge.
Perspective, the lowest amount. Have a guess what the lowest amount of players we've had online at one time is?
Zero?
On the peak of a day, rather than when we got DDoS back in 2014.
Or when we reboot.
Yeah,
When we boot at
I
zero.
really haven't got a clue.
So lowest peak on a day. What do you reckon? Where the players can
20.
I'm going to go late 2013, and I'm going to guess 18,000.
Okay, 26.
16,000.
I want to see what else we got here. We've got some people are getting close. I can't say your name.
That misplaced items website's probably getting some hits.
Yes, I would imagine it probably is. It was about 12,300. So this is 10 times our minimum peak.
Wow.
Which just shows how much we've grown over the last 5 years.
Better up it a bit more then.
Yeah.
But this is just the start, yeah.
Yeah, of course, so many new players also means a lot of new worlds. We've had over 70 new worlds added. There's about 15 members, a little bit more maybe, worlds added.
It's rather hard to work out how many there ought to be because we can't tell up front who's going to turn up and also whether they'll be free or members.
Yeah.
Personally, I think I slightly overdid it on free-to-play ones, but since we the app's going to be kind of out there and coming up towards a weekend, and is quite high in the charts as well, so that might get people who aren't already familiar with Old School. We're likely to leave it that way, but revisit it after the weekend when we've got a better idea of what we're dealing with. What we don't want is a situation where we get a lot of potential new friends for you all, joining the community to be your new buddies, and we say we're full, go away. We prefer to avoid that.
Indeed.
Cool. There you go. Great stats, great figures. Thank you all so much, honestly. You guys, reason we're here, really.
We did all right.
Yeah, we did all right.
We couldn't have done it without the Old School team.
Well, the Old School team. It's worth pointing out, by the way, that Mod West is behind the camera right now. He's about to start work on a pumpkin. It's one of the scariest things in the world he's going to be carving. It's not the RuneScape 3 logo. We were going to do the Iron Man logo, but we already saw that one on Twitter. He's going to do a little PK skull on the pumpkin there. Let's see, let's see if we can get a camera shot there. There you go. Look at that. He's going to be cutting that out, getting that ready throughout the stream. It's going to be behind the TV. I'm glad you guys liked that joke. Thank you. Thanks. I was quite proud of that one. There's a little party going on inside the office, and they have lots of cocktails and drinks. But I had to get a mocktail because we're not allowed to drink on stream. So it's a tequila-free cocktail, which sucks.
I still don't believe you.
It is. I had to ask for one specifically. You smelt it.
It's not like alcohol to me.
You could always sip from your milk.
Oh yeah, Ash got me a little skull mug as well, which is brilliant. I've got some cookies as well, Dios Film Muerte, cookies for you to ice if you get bored, which I'm sure you will, because there's a lot of questions this week, but I'm going to go straight on the first one. We have quite a few mobile ones. Basic Fail asks, how did the launch of OSRS go?
Pretty good.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's all you get.
It's been pretty good. Sorry, I'm exhausted. It's been a really long year. No, so far so good. Like anything that kind of could have gone wrong didn't so far. Mostly. So like we're in control. Yeah, like it beat my expectations for day one. Let's put it that way. So.
I mean, I suppose from our point of view, we've had a great launch. It all worked well. We got brilliant feedback from the players. I think some of you guys spent the day going through Tutorial Island, finding where people were getting stuck and hotfixing things to make sure people could get through Tutorial.
Rats. There wasn't enough rats.
No, I needed more rats, yeah. But I'm going to ignore all the comments we can make about rats.
Ed very kindly gave us more rats.
Yes.
I did. There are now more rats.
Valuable work, Ed.
Thank you. Thank you.
It was almost updating the game on the fly with the problems that we didn't know we were going to get, but we saw and just worked our way through them.
It's been pretty fire-free. There's like nothing went wrong after the point of launch. But there is the follow-on question was, were there any unexpected issues before or during launch? And just beforehand,
Before. Before.
Yeah.
do you want to talk about that a little bit?
We used a little bit of Fergie time to a small football reference for everyone that cares, to get us over the line. But yeah, we worked closely with both platforms to make sure that we could get the release out on time. And there was a narrow window where we thought it wasn't.
They like the Fergie time joke. Yeah. Some people did.
There was a very narrow window over the weekend where we thought we weren't going to be able to get it out on the Tuesday, but we were able to get it there. So yeah, it
You
worked
can
quite
tell
well.
Apple didn't think we were going to, given that they changed the release date to Wednesday.
No, we did that.
Oh, did we?
That was that would have happened anyway because of time zones, because it goes at midnight local time. So that would have been 11 a.m. for us on Monday, which was not good because we're aiming for the Tuesday. But yeah, I did see someone had October 32nd. listed as their date.
What?
Yeah. I don't know how that happened. That's someone else's platform, but yeah.
I remember there was an invite to a meeting to start at 10:40, and the contents of the body of the meeting invites you get said, right, this meeting's at 10:40. This is discuss us opening it at 10:50.
Yep.
So it was that quick that when it happened, the decisions were made. Boom, boom, boom.
Well, what actually happened was there was a meeting at 10:40 to discuss us releasing it at 10:50, and no one thought to tell me that we were going to release in that meeting.
You didn't have your laptop.
So I was sat there in that meeting, like, how am I meant to turn it on?
It's fine.
I had to have a little jog upstairs to grab Kieran's laptop and bring it back down. It was great when I walked in, there was just cheers from the entire room. All I did was run upstairs and get a laptop.
That's all, I suppose, phone Kieran, but with an update like so I imagine.
Well, he was sat next.
Well, Kieran was sat next to me, and I was just like, I've got no way to turn it on here. And Kieran just said, go upstairs and grab my laptop, quick. We're turning on in 2 minutes. Yeah, I said to him, why don't you run up? But I see how it is.
Delegated.
Oh, you can hear the pumpkin getting empty in the background. It's making a noise, which is kind of funny.
That was like our biggest issue of the day, just nearly not turning it on.
Well,
But after that,
I
it
mean
was
we're
smooth
talking about
sailing.
5
we'd have
minutes.
just turned it on 2 minutes later.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know we've got a big office, but it's not that big. Like, going upstairs wasn't that much of a jog.
It was tiring. It was tiring, man.
Cool. A couple of more questions for mobile. Of course, just because mobile's out doesn't mean that work stops on it. There's all your guys' feedback and.
Oh, what,
stuff that
really?
Yeah, sadly, Ed. I'm sorry. But you do still have stuff to do, I'm afraid. A suggestion from Coro is, can we expect mouse and keyboard support for mobile in the future?
I wouldn't say expect. It's not impossible, but it's not something that would be immediately focused on.
Cool. What is your first priority, do you think?
So we need to finish the game center transition next. And then we have some pieces of work to do around the early game experience, because we've got a lot of new players coming in. So we're looking at that, and I can't remember what else. It's
a lot.
It's just a blur.
Well, there's that bug report thing in game. People are sending things, and I'm sure a few of them will be crossing your desk each day.
I imagine so, yeah.
What are you working on right now, Ed?
Right now, I am working on, well, actually nothing right now, because I'm on this Q&A, but... What?
Just look while you're chatting. Look, you get a top-down view of Mod West.
fancy.
Look at that.
Nice scoop.
We can see you. Hello. Keep scooping your pumpkin. I think you need a bit of a bigger hole, mate. It's pretty small.
Oh.
So many jokes. So many.
Are you sure you can get your hand in that?
No, I can't.
Sorry. Sorry, what are you working on right now, Ed?
Well, I say right now, I'm not doing anything from the Q&A, but when I'm not on the Q&A, we're working on, as John mentioned, the Game Center transition. So any iOS users who have joined with Game Center who want to log in on other devices as well, we're going to be creating a way for them to do that.
Cool. Exciting stuff. Fivemon asks, is it true that there is a 7-day membership trial for mobile users? How do I get it? It seems a little hidden.
We'll just log into mobile. If you're eligible for it, it'll tell you.
I was going to say, is it hidden? We
I don't think it is. I just think it's...
I think players don't know whether they're eligible for it.
Yeah.
If you log in, you should get a prompt. If not, just open the store and it'll tell you.
Yeah. 7 days free membership maybe in it for you. Log in, why not? Sean asks, we're all happy that mobile is now released on iPhone and Android. Can we ask what issues you came across causing the initial Winter 2017 meme?
It wasn't necessarily any particular issues that caused that to happen. It was more the realization that we wanted to ship a game that was good enough. It's not just about,
It running.
Yeah, it's not just about it running, doing a poor port, because we had a prototype up and running almost 2 years ago. But it took a lot of iteration, both to make sure that we're managing the tech, making sure that we're setting up the studio to be able to work on mobile, because our design, development, QA processes need to change. Our entire universe basically had to adapt.
Our entire process in Old School changed for about the last 9 months, would you say, Ash?
Pretty much, we rolled it out in March. For what it's worth, a lot of the game's layout had always been based around the original, very familiar Old School layout with the chat box at the bottom and the side panels coming out from stones on the right or whatever else you'd got. And the notion of needing to be differently laid out brought a lot of challenges that, your game frame dodging system that you built on that rudimentary thing I started with, there's a lot goes into that wouldn't necessarily be expected back when you're first proving that, yeah, I've got the game and it's working on this mobile phone. What more you want? Let's ship it.
Yeah, the developers from 10 years ago, when they were making their fancy interface and whatnot, probably didn't think, I should make sure this is mobile friendly for 10 years in the future. So yeah, unfortunately that fell down to us instead. I don't know how many interfaces I had to tweak. It was over 100, like overlays and modals as well, all kinds of interface I had to touch. I touched interface that haven't been touched in years. It was awful. Don't go near those interfaces.
Which one?
They're dirty and horrible. There's some in Barbarian Assault.
Yeah, those are dirty and horrible.
Interestingly, while I was in Barbarian Assault, I found an interface that was never actually opening because...
What?
Yeah, it was...
Which one?
So when you go into the group room, there's that room which just automatically groups you, but no one ever uses. There's meant to be an interface in that room, but it was getting overridden by the interface from all the other rooms. So while I fixed it for mobile, I actually made it appear for the first time ever in Old School. Not that anyone's noticed, because no one ever uses that room. So go in that room, someone, and see that fancy interface from all those years ago.
I found a few things like that when I was doing Resizable back in 2015. There was some interface with a sort of seal of, I think it was Keldgrim on it, just an interface with a picture that represented Keldgrim. I have no idea what that was for, so I deleted it. But we've still got the 3D model if we ever want to represent, I think it's Keldgrim on anything.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so there's development processes, there are obviously release processes. We're now releasing to 3 platforms, which 2 of them are entirely out of our control almost, so we have to line up with those platforms and with our release schedules. Our entire release process just went like that. What else? It was so much. Yeah, trying to get the...
No, I'm getting attacked.
Your mic is scuffed, mate.
Oh, no.
Making sure that we have things like
Sorry.
login working for Game Center. The store that has to be integrated, which goes through about 8 different teams across the company to make that happen. Making sure player support was set up to be able to deal with feedback coming through and things like reviews. Yeah, it's an inexhaustible list of things that we had to do, and we've done most of them so that we could ship the game, and we're still doing some of them right now.
Just slight fair warning, I do have a bit of a cough today, so sorry if I do end up coughing. I'm not Kieran.
Hit you very hard on the back.
No, you always offer it, and it's always scary just thinking about you really slapping on the back. We fixed Ed's mic now, should be good. He has a pretty hairy chest, so it was scuffing against your chest, mate.
Does he
How
now?
do you know?
You don't want to know.
Whoa.
I'm kidding.
Let's not start any rumours
Do you
here.
want to swap?
Have a one in the chat if we want to know.
Chests.
Well, Ed does this thing where he slouches on his chair, and sometimes his shirt rides up a little bit, and
Why
it's
are you
like,
looking?
It's just, you can't miss it. That's why. It's staring at you in the face.
You know, HR's just up there. So I'll come with you.
Yeah, I think we're better.
Anyway, next question from Nick. They ask, any possibility of adding an option to the prayer book similar to the spell book that allows you to left-click for the prayer information? It's hard to hover over things like that.
Yeah, we're talking about something like this today. It's something we'd like to do. So yes.
There's quite a lot of interfaces in the game that could do with their info being made accessible to people on mobile in ways it currently isn't.
It's another one of those things where the developers of 10 years ago thought, oh, I can display extra information when you hover your mouse over it. That's not going to be a problem. There's no such thing as hover over on mobile, and there's a lot of places where it's used.
Yeah, so what I did to the spell book is something that can be done to the prayer book. It's also been suggested that instead of doing that, we could write at least the name of the prayer underneath the icon. Personally, I don't think there's all that much space, but I've not looked into it myself. I'm just sceptical about something that, well, there's quite a lot of buttons on it.
Yeah. We'll look into that, I imagine. There's probably more interfaces, like you said, that have a similar problem that we can tackle bit by bit with your guys' feedback. Right-click report bug, if you have a bug, by the way.
Long press,
Sorry.
so on mobile.
Long press on mobile, you can do it on mobile now. We actually are told if you put it in by mobile, I think. Could be wrong. Next question from Phil. They asked this from the CEO, this one. This is a spicy question.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. This is from Phil, we were talking about it yesterday. Thoughts on possibilities of push notifications for things like GE offers, potentially Kingdom of Miscellanea and farm runs as well?
So,
what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, push notifications is something we do want to look at, and we will do very soon. There are some difficulties with if you're offline, the game knowing that a thing has happened and then sending you a notification with that. But we've not done the diligence we need to do to be able to actually answer that question yet. So I've kind of just dodged it entirely. But yeah, if we can do it.
What do the players think? Would the players find it useful?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Do you want to straw poll that, Moderai? Push notifications. Let's just say GE for now. I imagine farm runs and stuff would be a little bit more tentative, but yeah, let's see what they think about it. No, Morai user, you're not on the couch because we have 4 people, not because I don't like you.
He's not even here, is he?
Declined to be on the couch because
He's written on there. Well, you know, you're mobile-related people, and we have a lot of mobile questions this week.
I'm going to say, am I mobile related? I just kept out of the way.
Well, whenever we have a big release...
You made it my problem.
That's true. That is true. Next question, while we wait for that straw poll to be done, from Skate. They ask, would it be possible for your phone to vibrate when you receive an untradeable drop? For example, when I woodcut and get bird's nest, that's quite hard to see.
So I would love to do this. I think the official terminology is haptic feedback. It's something we looked a little bit at, but it's not a feature that we decided to include for launch. I will get back to you on that because it's something I really want to do.
Sounds really good. I
Like rare drop bird's nest is another good example.
Given that we've got some, already a tracking for how valuable they think an item has to be before they get interested in notifications about it.
Yeah.
We can do more with that kind of thing. Of course, if they start getting something that's got lots of stuff, then it might end up being like an RS3 when you kill a cave horror and your ring of wealth shines in your pocket, or whatever it is it does, every time. Only now vibrating.
Oh. That'd be a lot of phone movement if you leave it on your table. Would you like push notifications on mobile, such as for grand exchange offers? Yay at 83%, nay at 17%. There you go. That's clearly a quench for it, so we can definitely look into it in the future.
Because if it's possible, we'll try and deliver it, but no promises.
Next question from John. With mobile now released, when can we expect to see the performance improvements make their way to the desktop client?
It's a good question, one I don't have an answer for right now. Unless
I don't have an answer for it. I'm assuming they're meaning the graphics renderer alongside, I suppose graphics render is probably about it, isn't it?
I imagine so.
Actually know what was done there, do you?
Yeah, so we to improve performance on mobile, you can actually unlock to 60 FPS, whereas desktop is locked at 50. We've pushed the most expensive aspects of the game rendering onto the GPU on mobile. Now, I'm sure the engine team are sat upstairs watching, and so I don't want to...
They're not actually. We were going to have engine on, but sadly, Mod Atlas, who you may all know, I say sadly, he had a baby, another baby.
He sadly had a baby.
Sadly, so he's on paternity leave.
Only an existing parent can say that.
And
They're watching. Hello.
hello. And the 2 other engine developers who I thought would have been relevant for this are actually leaving about now-ish together. They take carpools, and they didn't want to stay behind on stream, which is
But
totally
they're just
fair.
all out celebrating.
Yeah.
From what I remember, the last conversation I had with this, and this was some months ago, although it works on mobile, some extra work needs to be done to make it work on PC if you want to do it on PC. I think there is a desire to do it. It means that the game will look exactly the same. It won't change. It won't look any different. So you're not getting some sort of HD update. It will be a better performing game, but work needs to be done, and that work will take time. I don't know how long that will be.
And of course, gets prioritised against everything else,
Yes.
like push notifications and haptic feedback and everything else.
And all the other stuff we want to do over the next 12 months as well. So there's a huge amount of stuff still to do.
I still wonder whether anyone turned down an invitation to be on the stream because we heard there'd be a snag.
I didn't actually know about that until it turned up.
Sorry, mate. It was cute. How cute was that?
It doesn't bother me. I've met skill specs, so it's...
Oh.
I made that joke off camera, just in case.
Well, he
I
said
like
it.
to live dangerously.
That was spicy. I love how they always comment on your tattoos, Matt. They're like, nice ink. Wow, Mod Mac is a badass. And it's like, ooh, love it. And I never even noticed because it's like always because you don't usually sit like this. Your arms aren't usually up.
It's usually sat like this.
Ugh.
It was a really
going
big
off
deal
in
back in 2013 when we were doing these. People definitely
It came up every stream, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Next question from Warpy. What do you each personally predict will hit for peak players online next week? Do you think we'll go higher than 110k? What do you think?
I think I would love to see us at 250,000.
Oh,
It's ambitious.
Calm down.
I like to
I
call
need to
myself.
manage some expectations.
Yeah, let's not be silly.
I want to hear what John thinks it'll be because he probably has more
Yeah.
info on this than I do.
So I'll let you all have a guess.
Okay.
It's a finger in the wind.
I call it. It's not casual pessimism. It's just setting expectation, not to say 250k. And my guess would be, I would like it to get to about 125k. I think it could go a little higher, like another 10% or so.
I mean, I was looking at the difference between, or how they were coming in differently from yesterday to today, or rather from before it launched to after it launched. And there's some significant thousands of % increase in some things. So I think we've got a lot further to go knowing what's happening in the near future.
I'm going to be quite pessimistic because we're looking at concurrent users.
No, cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Knowing roughly what activity we've got going on over the weekend, Sunday evenings usually peak. I would be surprised if we didn't see around 140, 150k.
Ooh.
I would have also
And I-
said 140, 150.
And I think
yeah, sure thing.
I'd be quite optimistic of actually going higher than that as well. But we have to wait and see.
I think if our players get behind it, and these guys all go out and shout and scream and tell the whole world how good Old School is on mobile, we'll hit 250.
Honestly,
so it's very, very
It's down to you
important.
guys. If it doesn't happen, it's your fault.
Very important
Camera,
that they
your
don't
fault.
bully the noobs.
Yeah, be nice. Don't use your ring of coins near the Dark Wizards.
Stop
We saw
luring them
that.
to the Dark
You jerks.
Wizards.
Don't do that.
You know
okay?
what was fantastic to see was so many players just like heading to World 1, World 2, like all the free-to-play worlds in LAN was just giving out stuff.
Oh yeah, like starter packs.
Yeah, starter
and
packs.
teleports.
Because
and-
we were going to create a thing that gave away like bronze armor sets and stuff. We don't need to because you guys even wear your runes.
Yeah.
It's great. But keep doing that because it does leave a lasting impression on these new
Yeah.
players coming to the game.
Yeah, we saw an increase in sales of things like iron scimitars, about 400-500%
Yeah.
from one day to the next. It's like whoop.
I wanted to do a little. I was hoping to do a little event of some kind, like when we used to have the well, but instead you'd
Hang on,
put
somebody
in.
just said Canada never.
We
gets-
gave you mobile like 3 months early.
We soft launched in Canada, so don't
You
complain.
got it first.
On Android. That's
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like I wanted to do an event a little while ago, and evidently we don't need to, but I would have liked to have been able to say players can put in bronze, iron, steel armors, and runes, and teleport tabs for members, and all that stuff, and we could then give out packs like that. So it's a sync at least. But like the community, like really, and I truly mean this, the community, we can joke, like you can be jerks at times, but jokingly, because really, you guys truthfully love this game, and we know you do, no matter what you say. And it really is adorable just to see, so much support. Again, I look at the reviews, right? I look at the reviews. We're pretty much 5 stars. Thousands of reviews. That's so hard to do. You have no idea how difficult many games struggle to get that.
You also have no idea just how valuable that is.
And, yeah, it's very
Keep doing
important
that.
as well. Like, it makes us more featured on the Apple Store, which helps us get more people looking at it and going, I remember that game. And truthfully, it is because of you guys. And we truly mean this. Like, without you guys, this might not have been as successful as it has been.
Absolutely. I'm talking to Ben, what's his job title?
It's marketing director, senior marketing director.
Yeah. And I was saying that when something big happens in Old School, the community get together and they get 100% behind it. and their input, the value of hundreds of thousands of players, is much more valuable to us than anything that we could do to enhance that. And that's why that's what you guys are good at.
I wonder how many new players are actually watching this stream right now as well, because not many other games like.
Press 1 in the chat if you're a new player. Thank you. 2 if you're.
Everybody's going to say me now. That's the meme. Whenever you say I wonder, everybody just types me smiley face.
So all these new players are watching. I know, sir. Yeah, I know he's not a new player.
So I don't think this is a representative data set.
I don't think Mod AE's is a new player.
I don't think Mod AEs is new.
To be fair, I've seen him playing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well over a year now. 2 years?
Yeah, he can come back when he's 10 years.
I'm about to hit 5. Close. Coming up to it.
Yeah, next year.
Going to be creepy. That's going to be weird. Let's move on to the next question.
Just carry on, yeah.
Yeah, next question. From Lab Guy, they ask, any potential for a new house style, snowy for Christmas perhaps? It's coming up.
Oh, that's a nice idea.
Snowy
I do
house
like
kit.
those.
Yeah, it's having sort of curtains of candy canes and things.
Have to see just how much the Kebos team needs from their artists around there. 'Cause it does take quite a few models to make a whole new POH wall kit. And unless it ends up being a very, very cheapo one where I take an existing wall kit and paint it white, which the players may not thank us for.
Yeah, that'd be
a bit tacky. Bit tacky.
Yeah, we want to do it with finesse.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
I want to do a
yeah.
want to do a Prif one.
You know, oh, that'd be nice. Like crystal and.
Crystal House.
Oh, that'd be pretty sick.
I asked for one of those back in 2009 when I was doing Love Story, and we got the kind of dark stone house style as a reward from that quest. And well, the artist didn't have a huge amount of dev time to offer us back then, so we had to compromise on one new house style, and it was dark stone, and also made, I think, by painting the Arduino one black. But heck, it looked pretty distinctive. If we can get a real Prifdina style elven themed one, that'd be awesome.
I think they agree.
The thing is, obviously, Kebos is coming out in January, right?
Is it?
And
Blimey, I didn't
if you
know.
didn't know, it's coming out in January. And they have graphics resources dedicated to them so that we can hit that time. We want to get it out for you guys when we've promised. We don't like doing batches or anything like that. And so, would you rather us like take away from the potential reward space of Kebos and the graphics there for a Christmas update? Or alternatively, if Prifdinus is coming later next year, it can be a part of that graphics budget to have that wall kit as a reward. And, you aren't silly. You know what makes more sense most time. Like, it's just nice to tell you guys why we make decisions like that.
We need a 5-year vet cape to flex on all the noobs. Choose your combat level to flex on all the noobs.
What was I going to say? Yeah, we've still got a job open for a artist as well. So if you're a up-and-coming budding artist, do apply.
See it out.
Still need new artists.
Zuhar.
Yeah.
Then you two can be on this couch and maybe stroke the
snake.
guest snake. Yes.
Stroke my
Or
snake.
carving pumpkins in the background.
Oh yeah, how's that going, Mod West? Let's have a look. How you doing? How's your pumpkin going? Ooh, it's cut out quite a little bit.
Halfway, but I don't think I am.
We're going to move on. Come on.
We got plenty of time. We got half an hour left, mate.
Thank you, work.
Always delivering their stuff late, these artists.
I know, it's shocking. This is why you can't get the Christmas wall kit.
I'm busy.
To be fair, I went over to him earlier today and I was like, hey, I went over to all three of them and went, who can carve, Mod Rise here as well in the chat, it was like, so who can carve pumpkins the best? And I think Mod Ghost was like, I was on a scale of 1 to 10, how good can you carve a pumpkin? And he was like, 0. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to ask the question to you then. And then Connor was like, I like carving pumpkins. So I was like, oh god, because that's how Connor sounds, Mod West. I like sounding. Yeah, you were totally up for it. You're doing great, man.
Yeah, get in there.
I still think you should have done an RS3 logo, but can't go back now.
Matt did that last time.
Did you? What?
Did I?
2 years ago. You don't
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Yes, we turned the lights out to see whether you could look through the pumpkin and have the light or something.
Is there anything scarier than ERC?
Yeah, so I think I
Yes,
I
get
think
one
I
of the
actually
lifts.
carved the pumpkin. That's what it was.
Sounds good. Next question from Ness. Any possibility of additional uses for the Dark Claw drop from Skatizo? After the Slayer helm is gained, it has no more uses. Perhaps trading them in for some additional shards or a chance at another totem at the altar? Was their suggestion?
Yeah, sure, why not? What was the question?
What should we use the Dark Claw for if you already got it, you don't need it?
I was watching him carving pumpkin.
I don't know, pumpkin. That's why we invite you on here, Matt.
Some valuable insights.
What do you think, Ed? Any thoughts?
No.
No.
Is there anything maybe in the Care Boss area that could use
Dark Claws.
something from the darker ends of Zaya?
Is it powered by the Dark Altar?
Well, that's
I'm reviving
like,
that one.
That's like 90% of the lords there. So yeah, it is.
Well, that's not 90% of the lore of Zaya.
Well, not anymore. We've been working on that.
We added some stuff to it.
We've worked on that.
Dark Claw we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Could it not be
Dark Claw, like
Sorry?
a claw.
Claw? Yeah.
Yeah.
So could we not reanimate it into a new Slayer monster so it is a new sort of crawling ant type thing?
Yeah, it sounds great for something you get very rarely.
Yeah, I was like, that's not no.
So it could be this massive. Maybe it could have. It could call in one of the Slayer bosses as you send it off to drag out one of the Slayer bosses or something. I don't know. I'm trying here.
I know. I expect. I appreciate the effort.
If demons have souls and Scutizo has a soul, then we could always let you cast the reanimate thingy on it and
that'd be
get
good.
yourself a nice reanimated Scutizo to kill.
I like that. That is really good. Let's drop all that. Dark Claws being able to be reanimated in the Arceus spellbook, spare ones.
Why reanimate just the hand when you can get the entire demon?
I like that.
Indeed.
Let's see what the chat says. I'll ask the next question while waiting. From Many Cookies. Speaking of Many Cookies, is somebody going to like decorate a cookie? I brought these on for you guys. A Dios de Muertos cookie. I've got icing. There you go. Thank you, Matt. Thank you. You want to do it as well. Go on. Get going. From Many Cookies, ever been in game on your personal account and saw people doing stuff they wouldn't if they knew you were a JMod?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Best part is when you
people
then
just
hop to your
chatting each other
JMod.
upstairs. The Blue Moon Inn. They definitely didn't think there'd be a JMod there.
Oh God, what will they say? What they...
You don't ask.
Well,
Okay. All right.
they seem to be making friends.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to move on to the next
Dancing in
question.
front of a bed.
I might move on to the next question. You're meant to do it at the front. You're not meant to do it on the back.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have looked
doing?
good on the front.
It's flat on the back.
See if you can guess.
Okay. Are you doing Prophet Snake?
You could not be more wrong.
Okay. A tree?
You could not be more.
Okay. Next
Either a
question.
nature rune.
Yay!
Oh.
Oh, good, it's a nature rune. I'd have to save a second.
Someone passed the IQ test.
Excellent. Dark Claw reanimation for a spooky Scutizo. Yay, 85%. Nay, 15%.
It has to be spooky though.
Ship it.
Spooky. I love a good spooky Scutizo.
That should be pretty spooky, given that he already looks like a pretty spooky demon with a dark altar built into his head.
How spooky can a spooky spook be? Next question from Maurice is the Twisted Bow still having its arrows updated to be similar to Craw's and Crystal Bow? So the little animation, little colour they have on them. I think we mentioned that a little while back. Mod Rye, have you got any idea on that?
I shouldn't.
You were the one that promised it, mate.
Oh.
I mean, I can do the model, it's just the dev work.
Well, if you do the model, maybe we can find some dev work over Christmas.
Cool. Good stuff. Belgian asks, would it be possible to let Eek run free in our menagerie instead of being locked up in a toy box?
Spiders like dark cupboards, don't they?
They do like
But yes,
cupboards.
it would be possible.
Oh, cool.
Need a bit of custom handling of the menagerie because it would work completely differently to just about every other pet.
Oh,
Right, take down the advert for an artist.
you got it. There you go. Nature rune.
Which camera we're looking at? That one. There we go. Yeah.
There you go. Good job.
Mad paint skills.
I can eat it.
Rats.
I've got milk, by the way. If you want milk with your
I do not trust that.
really? that is milk.
Yeah, Jay.
Because it's
I don't know how much you think I can produce, but that is milk.
they're really quite
Alright.
good goblets. I got it from John Lewis.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for that, Ash. By the way, Ash got me that. So
I'm
thank you.
just shopping for something else entirely and impulse purchased that.
The only reason I'm not drinking it is because I'm actually a bit lactose, and I'm going for a meal tonight, and I don't really want to ruin it.
Yeah, I'm playing football tonight and I'm lactose intolerant. No, I'm not Gary Lineker in this one.
Fair enough.
Yeah, more football reference.
I see him moving on in the chat.
There is a moving on in the chat from Mod I. And Mod I easier. If you message it once, you don't have to do it like 5 times afterwards. We can see it because you have plenty of icons near you. Next question
I
from.
mean, to be fair, he is missing sort of the starlight of being on PewDiePie's video.
I know this is what happens. It must be really hard being rejected in front of 2.5 million people. That's got to really suck.
Is that why we can't get him on our couch anymore?
No, yeah, he's banned now for a little while. It's Twitch now. What do you expect?
There's the counselling been paying off for him since he got back.
Next question from Few. This is actually quite a relevant one. Any updates on the Bounty Hunter updates that are coming out soon? Any updates?
Well, Mod Gambit.
Yes, Mod Gambit.
I'm not very good at mod names. We don't use them in the office very much, unless it's like Ed or John C or Ash or Matt K or Trevor.
Trevor?
Of all the words that you could have, all the names went with Trevor.
5.5 years we've known each other.
That's the kind of thinking that gets you
5.5.
Eric.
Not only 5.5. I was one of your groomsmen at your wedding.
This is true.
Trevor. I'm obsessed.
Would you rather you gave out your real name?
No, they know it's Jay anyway, so I don't really mind. Doxed.
Spoilers.
I don't care.
This is true. Whenever we bring in that artist, Robert, he often does tend to name us by name.
Yeah.
Question again?
Bounty Hunter.
Oh yeah. So Mod Gambit, now we know who he is, has been working on a blog for that one to explain what we'd like to do to it, what we'd like to offer for it, and we hope to have that with you in the next couple of days.
Cool. There you go.
Maz will be doing the programming on this one, and has been familiarising herself with the code for Bounty Hunter, because it turns out almost no one's ever been in that code except, well, me and former Mod Reach. So
I've probably
since I'm
been
not
there,
on it.
Probably needs all rewriting then.
Well, that's really old now. Like, when you think about it, like,
It was one of the interfaces I touched.
Oh.
that means it's your problem. You touched it last.
Touch it last.
Some very heavy touching that interface.
I didn't touch it that much. It was just some
It's not a
gentle
euphemism.
touching.
I mean,
This is a prod.
Yeah.
yeah, back then when we didn't have much in the way of artists around the team, our GUI design was a little bit more limited than it is these days.
And obviously now we have to focus a little bit more on mobile as well, so yeah.
And also, I'm just not a fan of leaving things in default yellow as much as we did back then, because you create a text field in our interface editor, it's yellow, and a lot of our early interfaces, like the corp damage counter, just kind of turned up like that.
Ed, you got a new car recently, didn't you?
What colour is it?
Oh wow, it looks really, really good. Let's
Oh, wow.
Let's look at this.
Well,
Look
that's
at
way
that.
better than mine.
Spin
I've
it,
got to
spin
eat
it,
it before I see it.
spin it at that camera.
That camera.
Look at that. Wow.
Right, now you can take down the roll for an eye.
We're done. We're good. What new car did you get, Ed?
I got an Audi.
What colour is that Audi?
It's blue.
Oh wow.
Would you say it was more of a dark blue, a light blue, or an Elysian kind
Well,
of?
it was like an Elysian, like as blue as the Elysian.
I'd say it would definitely be an Elysium.
How many former owners did it have? And what were their names?
It's a different make. That was my first question. It's a different make.
And what's your full name, date of birth, address, and things like?
Were you mod?
Can I just clarify right now that I did not need to make a single hotfix to get that Audi, just in case anyone was wondering.
You did it all in the cold reboot.
That's how you do it.
I like that we can joke about these things.
Yeah, we're dead on the inside, really.
Yeah.
The next question.
I was in two minds about doing the winter 2017 joke in the news post, but I just couldn't resist it.
Yeah, I think I had to happen.
You've got to embrace your meaning.
You have to embrace it. If you don't embrace it, they win.
Also, it feels like winter 2017. It's freezing.
It is. It's freezing.
Really cold at the moment.
It was like I looked outside this morning. The sun was shining, not a cloud in the sky. Like I stepped outside in a t-shirt. Like no, the car was frozen over.
Yep.
It was a bit weird. Like 3 weeks ago, before it was like fully October, where in the morning you were sweating, and you're like, wow. Oh no, sorry, you were freezing. You put your coat on, and then in the afternoon you go to Tesco for your lunch or whatever, and you're like actually sweating. And it's like, what happened to the weather?
I do miss complaining about how warm it was.
You guys go outdoors more than I do.
You go outside. It's the way you need to go to travel to the pub.
This
Teleport.
is true. But I don't inhale. Yeah.
Next question from Derp. Will existing portals be used in the new Nexus, or will it have to be paid for separately, even if you use made portals already?
Separate, I'm afraid, unless Maz has done a lot of programming I don't know about.
It is separate.
Yeah. This is a separate room for people with a higher level, but just us, building something in a different room doesn't tend to recycle material from a different bit of the house. This is, I'm afraid, no exception.
It's also 10 times the cost of those teleport.
It ain't cheap. On the other hand, we think it'll have a use all right.
Next,
By law runes.
Panic by Lauren. Speaking of which, actually, they asked, can we put any tracking in for law runes so that Mod Lottie can have a little look at how many leave the game? Could we potentially do that? They might want to see that number.
Sounds like a good thing to have.
There we go. That'd be pretty cool.
If you're listening, hello.
Hi, Maz. I think she is actually, because she's at home.
That, please.
Yeah, can we have data tracking for the law runes done, and then we can have a pretty cool number come up on the screen or something? That'd be pretty sick. You know what the really sad thing is right now as I'm looking around this studio? I need to get rid of all this cotton off everything. I mean web. I need to get rid of all the web off stuff. And I didn't realise how much I put down. And it's quite sticky.
Yeah, this is all your own
Sucks to be
doing.
you.
And now we've sat on it.
Oh no, it's not too bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. But yeah, we can get those numbers. Spoice asks, could the colour of the stick thrown at the werewolf course be changed in colour? It's pretty hard to see on the ground right now. Maybe attach a ribbon to it or something.
Okay.
Ship it.
Yeah, why not?
Be a bright pink stick if they like. That'll
Yeah.
stand out.
Something to make it more obvious to see.
Something quite rigid, I think.
Oh, it already is.
Yeah.
And sticky like a stick.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You can tell, by the way, I was scraping questions this week. Because the next question from Peach, which I actually thought was kind of true, but then I didn't think it was a good idea. Any chance larger bones could have a chance to turn into a larger peach when casting bones to peaches? That could heal a little more than regular bones.
Like James the Giant Peach kind of peach.
There you go.
Maybe you have monsters that come out of an attack. Instead of being a healing peach, it's an attack.
My question would be, if you did bones to peaches, would you get a bigger banana for big bones
Do you
as well?
understand why on earth you would be able to turn bones into peaches?
It's magic, isn't it?
Magic.
Seems like an odd thing to do. You know, alchemy is obviously something.
Magic.
But why?
Transmutation.
Why?
Transmutations are very common.
Why peaches? Why not bones into sharks?
Because that's broken.
Yeah, 'cause that's game breaking.
That's too strong.
Balancing.
At this particular time of year, bones to pumpkin might actually have been the bigger peach.
Oh, we could have done that.
I know they're not the same kind of fruit by a very, very long shot, but
Next year's update.
Is a pumpkin a fruit? Oh, it's a veg. It's got seeds on the
I
inside.
don't know, to be honest, but it's kind of edible and bigger.
Oh, sweet.
It's a veg. It's got seeds on the inside. Is that how it works? Can't remember.
I don't have a clue.
And I'm sure the chat knows about pumpkins.
It's a
I'll
gorge.
grow my own pumpkins next year. I've already decided.
Really?
Yeah. I've
Apparently
got a
it's
vegetable
gorge.
patch.
What's your farming level?
Well, I ate all of it, so it worked quite nicely. I turned some of the marrow into wine, which was quite nice.
He asked what's your farming level.
Farming, I haven't got a clue, mate.
What are you what?
73, yeah.
Yeah, good answer. Good answer. They'll like that. Next question from Time Liar. What do you think about a rare drop table rework?
I guess that's not a straightforward thing. I'd imagine there's going to be a huge amount of balancing involved in making that right.
Well, it's called at different chances on a lot of different creatures, which means that whatever it is you do, you're doing it to a lot of different creatures. And some of them call it quite often, some of them call it very seldom. If we just say make it better than it is, probably all right. If we start doing something fancy with it, involving the combat level of the creature or involving, I don't know, new unique items, we'd find it a lot harder to work out how fast they're going to come in the game. But you know, where it's giving some of the stuff on the rare list, like some of the javelins, I don't think people are very grateful for. Replacing them with anything else might be worth it.
Maybe the question is, or the response to this question should be, what do the players see as the outcome of a rare table update?
I imagine the answer is something rare.
Exactly. So what does this rare thing suddenly mean? It depends. It could be that I want to make something more profitable. I want to feel as if when I hit the rare table, I'm going to get something that makes me go, wow, I got one of these. And you know it's on the rare drop table, you know it's good. I mean, if we'd done a whole load of...
If they want something rare, we could just get rid of a rare drop table.
It will actually increase your chances of getting a rare drop if we remove the rare drop table from creatures that have rare drops.
But my dragonstones.
On April 1st, it's very tempting to make a table actually get dropped when you get...
We discussed also moving it outside of just being an additional drop as well, so at least didn't take away from an additional, like a drop.
It doesn't matter with pigs.
Boy, the Gorak's going to look quite funny if we do that.
All right, I'll move on to the next question
Have you
because
seen the Gorak drop table?
you've told me about this actually. Yeah, it's pretty.
Weird.
Yeah. Do you want to explain it?
Not really, but it's got the rare drops a lot.
It pretty much is just rare drop table,
Pretty much.
which is why it sometimes drops nothing because rare drop table drops nothing.
A Ring of Wealth will help you with that. Maz made it considerably better than it used to be. So when you've got your Ring of Wealth on and you get something from the rare drop table, there's a reasonable chance you should thank Maz.
Cool. Next question from OMG, it's Alec. Can we have shift click to hide attack options? This would make many bosses much nicer, allowing the player to walk under them without right clicking, or just not clicking on useless minions.
I do like that. We're a little limited at the moment for detecting and applying special effects to having shift, control and alt held down beyond what was built into the engine specifically for those purposes. But if we get more flexibility on that in future, then we might actually be able to do what's just been described and a few other things besides. Like at the moment, shift click is only relevant when you're dropping stuff from your inventory and similar things. If we got a more flexible shift listener, I need a better word for that, then we'd be able to do some of the things they've suggested involving the bank, where shift deposit would be a different quantity to what standard click would have been. It would be nice to be able to offer some of those, although what we did with the quantity buttons goes some way to addressing it. And of course, if it involved shift, all their mobile users are in for an interesting time.
Well, yeah, they have the shift click button, the little mobile button, don't they?
They've got a button. I suppose we can call it that.
Tap to drop.
Next question from Swamp Deku. They ask, the concept of the Longbow... Oh, this is a long one. Oh, my.
No.
Get ready. The concept of the Longbow, at least in this game, is that it trades attack speed for higher attack distance. Other than that, they have identical stats. Now, unless somebody can prove me wrong, there isn't a single instance in this game where the longer attack range is useful at all. Could you make it so that the Longbow has a considerably better accuracy than the Shortbow, as opposed to just having a longer range? There you go.
Yes, we could.
The chat is now just filling up with all the places where it is useful to have a greater attack range.
Oh, there you go. Monkey Manus 2.
Long range only Iron Man, apparently.
Kraken.
Shamans.
How's that pumpkin doing, Connor? I mean, Mod West.
There you go. Oh, you're nearly done?
Oh, you
I
out.
need to just like thin out a little bit.
Oh,
clean up
cool.
as well.
You know, the worst part is we didn't get a candle. We're not allowed a candle in here because of health and safety.
You mean you forgot to buy a candle?
Well, even if I bought one, you're not allowed a candle in here for health and safety. So you just have to... We can turn the lights off in the back, and then I can put my phone in the middle of it, and that's the closest we can get.
If you're celebrating mobile like
Might
that.
get a bit messy.
It's fine. It's been in worse places.
Such as where?
My bed.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Next question from, ironically, Two Guys, One DDS. Can Rigger and Augury get their own activation sound? They both use the lowest level prayer sound, respectively.
With that name, no.
Oh, it's got a fair point.
But yeah, probably.
Oh, we get a lot more audio support than what we used to.
We do.
I miss this couch.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? We miss you too.
How good a sound do they want? Like, we could get the audio team to make a proper one, or we could
Use the
just
Kriara
half-ass it
sound.
ourselves.
Do you say the A word? Do you say the A word on stream?
What, Kriara?
Doesn't matter, don't worry about it. They can get it, it's cool. No, we can make one. That'd be cool. I like that. Yeah,
Yeah, go for it.
cool.
Kriara sound it is.
Ace asks, any possibility of new rewards to help improve magic in the mid-tier combat triangle? The examples he gave were equivalencies of the Tome of Fire, so the Tome of Air with breezy pages, the Tome of Earth with dirty pages, and the Tome of Water with moist pages. The tomes can function in the same manner as the Tome of Fire and should be a reward for various mid-tier activities, whether new or revitalizing old content.
I'm just fond in principle of having all the things of it, or the things of all the other elements being available.
Drop a lemon.
What makes a page breezy?
What makes
Oh, like,
I get dirty and moist.
yeah,
You know, you can drop a bit of water and paper and...
just waving it about.
It could be a light page because you get the rice paper books, which
Maybe-
has really thin paper in it.
Maybe the text on it's just written in a breezy way.
Yeah.
It's just like, breezy.
Just a reminder, at Old School RS, if you have any questions, we are still taking questions from the chat, so I'll answer a couple of those from the chat. If you have any mobile questions in particular, they'll be taken with a higher priority, because we have a very rare couch this week. You never usually see Ed, especially John C. Matt K doesn't show his face much as well anymore.
No.
So you have a rare selection. Ash, we're always on here.
A rare selection.
Why do you keep bringing me?
They like
The French fancy.
They like you, and you can answer the questions.
Well, I said I'd come on.
I like
because mobile was a thing. Apparently, I worked on it, so I'm probably not going to be on for another year.
Apparently you worked on it.
Yes, apparently I did some stuff. Apparently
I heard you got a 2007
some interfaces.
champagne bottle for working on it.
Yeah, that's
How
nice
sick is
touch.
that? That's pretty cool. We also got little I should have brought one of the trophies down.
Yeah.
I do, yeah.
Little
sure.
commemorative trophies. That was nice as well.
Although I have some fun trying to see that on the camera. It's glass.
It's
with a bit
transparent.
of translucent glass in. They're beautiful.
Dusters asks, Pyramid Plunder on mobile has the level requirements blocking the middle of the screen.
Whoops.
Can you fix this, please?
Yeah, all right.
Chip it.
We'll fix that. Do you want to trivial that one?
Whoa, what we're fixing? Hang on, let's all slow down, kids.
All those interfaces you've been going through,
Yes.
Found another one.
they'd like another one changing so that the pyramid
what's the
plunder.
blunder?
Pyramid Plunder on mobile has the level requirements blocking the middle of the screen.
Oh, because it goes up and down.
Yeah.
There'll be, because things are at the top of the screen, we made them dodge a chat box,
Yep.
so maybe that takes up too much room. Some might need moving to the bottom.
Cool.
I know someone did actually point out the Zaya one to me earlier. For that one, you can just turn off in the Karen settings, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did we end up putting that? Because it's been some places.
Centre.
That's at the top as well, so it comes down if you open your chat box. So you have a choice, basically. You have a choice of blocking your screen or being antisocial.
I don't know which one I choose. Next question from RS Catherby. Is it new accounts only or current members as well for the membership trial? Do you have any clarifications on that? Or
It's targeting at new members. There are certain requirements that can be met if you already have it, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. Just log in and have a look.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good answer. Next question from Baby Zerka. They ask, please consider adding a trade disable from players on ignore list.
Can't you just not accept help and it takes it off?
No, trade requests come through regardless.
Do they?
I think we should make it not do that if we can.
I
that
think
possible?
That's sensible, yeah.
We're going to find out.
We'll find out. Next question from Call Me Artie, and they ask, any news on the proposed death mechanics from months ago? I think we answered this one last week. It is not planned, of course, for the rest of this year. It's nearly the end of the year. We'll be looking back at the results from the survey next year and potentially working on it then. That's what we said last
We'll
time.
do another blog with tweaks to it based on what they said last time before we start programming anything there.
Next question from the OG. Oh, God, it's a long one again. Could the road to Soul Altar be shortened so that it's more consistent with blood rune crafting? Currently, even at 99 agility, players are not able to make the trip back with a full run energy. Making the path shorter would only buff the XP rates by 1 to 2%. I just think he's making this number up, 1 to 2%, but make it more consistent with blood rune crafting.
No. Next question.
Cool. RS8 asks, can we get more room on the world's favourite bar?
What, sorry?
My favourite. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh,
So I had
the world
favourite
switcher.
bar, and I was like, which bar's that?
Yeah, I was like, what? The world switcher.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You can get one.
Yeah, we could make more room on it, but obviously the more room taken up by favourites, the less room for the actual list itself.
I did wonder at one point whether we should move that thing out from the side panel and put it in the middle of the screen where you've got more real estate. Drawback of that, of course, is people like to be able to walk around with it open and hot.
It's quite nice and convenient at the moment.
Yeah, so if we make it pop out, then it'll be a lot less usable. But we'd have more space, they could have more features on it like that. Maybe they're like a toggle.
Oh no.
If they don't mind losing another row, then they can have another favourite. Code's not that complicated on them. I just designed it with 2 because that was about the height that worked with the logout button next to it.
It was one of the interface I touched for mobile.
Oh yes, you.
There's a lot of those.
Like John said,
He's
hundreds.
spacing a lot of stuff out lately.
I'm going to move off chat questions. Again, if you have any more, please do at Old School RS. Mobiles questions will be prioritised. I've got the last couple more that we've got written down from Reddit and Twitter. We have Wobbles the Great asks, recently, a great name, I was utilising the Magic Training Arena and wondered if by completing the Lumbridge Drainer Hard Diaries, we could possibly be rewarded with 10% more points in each activity, or possibly scale the points based on each diary completed. It's not something that legitimate players do, except maybe Iron Men, and they should be rewarded for their time and effort.
You are with the rewards.
You can't argue with that, really, can you? Thoughts?
I guess it boils down to how much of a benefit they're going to get.
No, they already did it. They've said they've already done it, so they don't want them to get it easier anymore.
Oh, okay.
You know the rule.
Yeah. Moving on.
Well, yeah.
Next question from Thiva asks, could Briofita's essence be repolled for free-to-play? As it stands, members rarely kill the moss giants long enough for their stats to get too high before considering trying to kill it. Why did we make it members only in the first place? I can't remember for the life of me.
Because it failed to poll for free-to-play.
Oh, yeah. Fair point.
Hey, we can repoll things. We'd need a good reason to, because otherwise, what's the point in polling things?
Like, I think it failed because they didn't want that staff to be on free-to-play. But there's nothing stopping us potentially, that looks quite funny, there's nothing stopping us letting you get the drop but not create the staff, but sell the item, per se. We could do that. Up to you guys. Up to you guys, I'd say.
Whole, unless there's a massive outcry, I think we should leave it as failed and move on to doing other stuff for free-to-play.
Cool.
I mean, if we could add anything to free-to-play, whether it's brand new or moving something from members to free-to-play, what would you add, Ed?
Don't know. Something from members to free-to-play.
Or a brand new thing?
I'd give them some of the early fletching stuff.
Really?
Early fletching.
I always said that I would love Slayer to be a free-to-play skill.
Ooh.
How many crappy Slayer creatures that nobody ever kills,
Can you access
jellies, basilisks, not crawling hands, like the ones in the wall, in the Lumbridge swamps and stuff?
All beasts.
I'm sorry, but our player's most favourite skill is Slayer. We know that. It's why you get a lot of Slayer updates. But, like, there's so much underutilised content in the early levels. It's fun, it's engaging, it gives you a bit of variety when you're training combat. Why shouldn't free-to-play have that? I think they'll enjoy that. Like,
I like that.
I think that's good. What do you guys? Let's drop all that. I want to see what the chat's actual opinion is on that, because I know that's a touchy. Because Slayer is a member skill, and I get the concept of moving that to a free-to-play might be a bit touchy, but
Let's make everything free to play.
there's so many benefits to it being. Would you like to?
Well, obviously, it'd only be a very small part.
Yeah, it would be
So
the
lower
early
level stuff.
creatures. You could get to 99 like any other free-to-play skill, but you'd have to be killing crawling hands to 99. But you know, like, there's so many like cockatrices. Who kills a cockatrice? Have you ever killed a cockatrice?
Yes.
You have. Oh, I skipped those. I used to skip them. But like,
Back in my day, you couldn't skip tasks,
Yeah, I
mate.
was going to say, I had the
Boy,
same thing.
yeah, you
just
could.
do what you had.
talk to.
You could
Talk
go
to your
back-
bloke,
you could
Tyrael.
Go back to Chappie and Burthorpe.
Yeah, but
This was before.
70 cockatrice was, I think it's cockatrice, not trice, I could be wrong, I don't really care. That was more enjoyable than 30 bats.
I don't know. It was a quick task. I don't know.
For what it's worth, Slayer came out, of course, in the game that was already established, so a lot of people already had fairly high combats when we got to the start of 2005, which means that the tasks they got when they were new to Slayer were generally higher level NPCs. That I never killed cockatrice or cockatrices, those things.
That is a surprisingly high percentage of support there. That's 79%. Would you like the early Slayer creatures available for free-to-play? This would make Slayer a free-to-play skill.
I'd like to combine it with some sort of Slayer dungeon type, raid type boss thing for free to play as well. So you have a much more PVM content tied in with Slayer as well. So reasons to do it, which I think would be quite cool. I'd love to get more of that bossing stuff going through. We have some wonderful work done by the analytics team, and they do a lot of what's that really clever thing they do?
Work?
Analytics.
No, they use machine learning. That's it. The machine learning guys have looked at the different ways people play the games. One of the things that most people do when they join the game is start doing combat, and that keeps people engaged in the game much better than any other activity that they do. So how do we do that in free to play as well? How do we get different ways of combat and more interesting different types of combat without flooding the same areas and just having 400 bots in there trying to do the same thing? Some sort of raidy, sort of slayery boss thing, I think would work quite nicely.
Anyway, I'm glad to see that much. I know it's a weird thing to say. Like, I'm not saying it must be done. I'm just, it just seems interesting to me that like we've got so much underused content there that members aren't using anyway, and clearly it's an enjoyable skill. Why not let them have it? Like, if you guys are fine with it, I'm sure that free to play and all of our new players that are joining, I'm quite happy with that. Anyway,
we've spent enough time ignoring free to play, and I think well, not ignoring it, but not giving it the attention that it deserves a bit. And I think maybe we ought to change that over the next 12 months or so.
Also, if members are getting a new skill, then it's not like there'd be a lack of members-only exclusive content.
Yep. It is nearly 6 o'clock, so I'm going to ask Mod West coming over with his carved pumpkin.
Cool.
Mod John, could you, in a little sec, turn off the lights, and I'll try to light it up. No, come on.
I need a lid.
Oh, you've left your lid. I don't think you need your lid because I need to put my phone in, and I'll just hold it. I'll just hold it. I'll not put my phone in there. Not properly.
Oh, it's been in your bed.
It's true. Do you want to put it on the front? Let's see if we can get this. This is going to be. Oh, this is spooky. All right, my mic might be chafing a little bit. This is it. This is where you decide whether or not oh god, it's. I need to take my case off. Oh no, it's too big. It won't fit in the hole. Can I get it in? I can just. Oh, other way around. Oh.
Is there a kind of torch thing? Oh, right.
Yeah. I wonder if that'll work. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Thank you very much, Mod West.
Right, now you can take down that artist advert.
There you go. Look at that. Wow, that looks really good.
Give it to our already existing artist.
We will put it on eBay afterwards, so so that we can send you a rotten one.
There you go. Thank you very much for that, Mod John. Feel free to turn the lights back on.
Beautiful.
Good job, Mod West. Good job. Feel free to just take a seat on the couch. Why not? You're not got a mic, but you may as well say goodbye to everyone. Get rid of my phone. The case made it too big to fit in the pumpkin. You did have a very small hole there. That could have been a little bigger. But there you go.
Criticising the pumpkin.
I'm just saying.
All right, next week, you are going to carve a pumpkin.
Okay. Carving a pumpkin's easy.
Next week it won't be Halloween themed though. Next week maybe something like Guy Fawkes' head or something.
Right.
Maybe you ought to carve a mobile phone into a pumpkin.
I was thinking about carving. What did I want to do? I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm never giving you a knife again after what you did to my memorial cake yesterday.
Did you cut it?
Okay, so just to let you know, we had 3 cakes.
We had two
We had
cakes.
two
No,
And an
okay.
ornament.
No, okay. We had 3 in a row cakes.
We had 2
three.
cakes.
We had 2 real cakes, and then in the middle we had a fake cake. But I didn't know it was fake. Okay, it's in the middle of 2 real cakes, and these 2 were eaten, and I was like, ooh, nobody's cut the third. I'm gonna be the first one to cut it. That's gonna be nice. And I cut into it, and it's just polystyrene with marzipan over it, and I go,
Oh, you didn't.
well, how was I meant to know? There's like no sign saying.
Maybe it was the fact that nobody else had cut it, and the part where it didn't look like a cake.
The second cake wasn't cut for a little while. It took like 2 months. Not 2 months. 2 hours. 2 hours for that one to get cut. Like, how was I meant to know?
20 minutes.
It was.
And then 2 hours passed, and then you tried to cut into the ornament.
I'm just saying, like, you don't put a fake cake in the middle. It was really northern that.
You
Fake
store
cake.
live ammo with blanks, so I guess you shouldn't store polystyrene with a real cake.
Anyway, I didn't cut the main bit. I didn't cut
I
the.
don't know actually how many of our players can actually connect with this discussion that we're having. So I don't think too many people have actually experienced a fake cake, let alone between 2 real cakes.
Cake.
But whenever you want a really pretty cake, one that you don't want to eat and keep forever, firstly, you usually tell people, put a sign saying that, for the record, but you use polystyrene instead of
I'm
cake
just saying,
mix.
there's a lot of people work here. There was only one person who failed to work it out.
I mean, it was 8 o'clock.
There were a few like cuts.
Hang on. It was
Oh, okay,
the bar.
fair enough.
The bar had been open, right?
Since
Oh,
4.
I see. Yeah, right. That's where the answer is. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, it was your girlfriend that egged me on to do it.
Well, don't blame me for this.
I'm not blaming you, but
Well, he told me
She's
to rob
not
a bank,
here,
so I robbed the
so
bank, and it's his fault.
she was like, oh, just cut a little bit in the back, it'll be fine, it'll be totally fine. I was like, okay, I'm sure it'll be fine. It was just polystyrene
What-
cutting.
Moving on.
What she
Yeah.
does when I'm not there, nothing to do with me.
Right, well, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Halloween. Thank you all so much for joining. I mean, we don't get to see you a lot.
You're
as
very
well.
welcome,
It's
yeah.
really nice to have you on. Thank you all so much for downloading mobile. Of course, it's now available on the Apple Store for your
Right, second
iPhones.
phone, download it again. Thank you.
Is
Tell
it-
your mum, tell your sisters, tell your friends.
Tell
If
your
you've got
cat.
any, it's like, yeah, just download it everywhere.
Again, I really can't emphasize enough just how much your guys' support and your fantastic reviews and telling your friends, and it really has helped. And without you guys, we wouldn't be here right now.
And of
So
course,
thank
can we have a shout out to all the other people who worked on it who aren't here at the moment?
you. Huge, huge shout out to everyone who worked on it.
We were never going to have to list them all, but
You're
you're not
gonna
going to do it, are you?
They put 2 years of their lives into this for us.
You gonna try?
I will put a few minutes into this
Go on, then.
for them.
You're going to miss somebody, you're going to be really angry.
I'm going to miss loads of people, and their mod names are a mystery to me. So, core mobile team, you have Mod
Oh, yeah,
Go.
okay, feel free. Bye, Mod West.
Atlas, Mod Vanguard, Mod... what's Chris's mod name?
Genesis.
Mod Genesis, Mod Boko. I can't remember. The news post hasn't. core mobile team, there's like 6 people. We have a core mobile QA team. We have the tech QA team that did everything. Obviously, we've got the old school team. That we wouldn't have old school without the old school team.
It's all right. It's all right. You've got it in the chat for you there.
There you go. That's most of them. And then we've got the entire tech services team, which is 25 people that manage things like payments, the websites, and all that kind of stuff. They've been working on this for a very long time. All of player support, who came into work this morning and had something in the region of 100 times the volume of requests that they had yesterday.
Thanks for your great reviews, by the way. But that is that.
Oh God, analytics, community, market. Literally everyone in the studio has touched this. Yeah, I did fail to name them all, didn't I?
You said you're going to try and list everyone you failed at the first.
I tried to stop you from stumbling, but
I know their first names.
yeah.
But that doesn't help.
We've noticed quite a lot of their mod names.
Yeah, so mod names are in the news posts, but yeah, it's been a huge Jigexian effort to make this happen. Yeah.
Titus. I don't
Cool.
know who Titus is.
That's Tim.
That's Tim.
Oh, right.
We can see the list, Aiza. It's missing quite a lot of people on that. We don't want to miss out.
If they work here, they have probably helped out.
There you go. Right, thank you all so much for watching. It's been fun. Thank you for making the pumpkin mod, Wes. He's just set off because he has to catch a bus. Thank you all so much for joining us on the couch. Pardon?
Left us with a mess.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit of a mess to clean up. I don't know who's going to clean up all this web. Modshed will probably do it. It's his job. Thank you all so much for
We
watching.
got the email saying that they're taking full responsibility for the stream now, aren't they?
Oh,
Yeah, we got an email saying it's all. Yeah.
Without
So you guys will be cleaning up. Thank you all so much. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.